start streaming. Let's go ahead and get that together. And then I'm going to start recording once people start hopping in there. I am learning Blender. Great. You came to the right place. When's the last time you high-fived someone? Yo, you asked me this last time. Boom. That's the last time I high-fived someone. Actually, I think I high-fived someone yesterday. I don't remember why or who it was, but I definitely did. Yeah. So, let's hop into this thing. Instagram people, do you want me to face you towards the screen or are you heading over to YouTube? Let me know. Let me know what you're feeling here. I am from India. Love that. Yeah, I have a lot of Indian followers, and you guys are so supportive of my work, so thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let me grab the tripod here. We got our idea, guys. Let's go ahead and this will be like the one tutorial that I do today, and then we'll go over this. Hold on. All right. Perfect. Cool. Welcome everybody on YouTube. I'm gonna start recording in a second so I can record this tutorial. This is gonna be crazy because guys, I don't know how this is gonna end up looking, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure this thing out. I have an idea in my head and we're just gonna make it work. YouTube, can you hear me? You guys good on there? All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a very relaxed tutorial with no plan. I have a drawing of the thing that I would like to accomplish. I'm going to go ahead and show that up on screen, then I'll explain it. Basically the way this is going to work is we're going to create a physics simulation based off my drawing idea. And what we're going to do is we're going to have something similar to what we did last time where we had those spheres shuffling into a cup. We're going to do something very similar, but we're actually going to create a sorting machine. It's going to sort through multiple size spheres. So let's go ahead and hop into it. I got the idea up here. Let's do some testing. Let's go through some rigid body physics. You're going to learn a lot in this tutorial. I have no idea how long this tutorial is going to last, but I have the vision inside my head, so let's go ahead and make it come to life. I'm also going to be answering questions that are on my live stream as well, so if you guys are okay with that, that's going to also be happening throughout this the tutorial. So I'm in a new Blender file here. Let me first save this to my Instagram folder. I'm going to call this sorting machine. Okay, got to go ahead and save that. Let me also point this tripod over here. Sorry guys, a little unprofessional on my part, but I need to have enough room to work here. Cool, good, cool. All right, so I'm going to delete the cube. I'm going to delete the light. I'm just going to snap to my camera real quick. I'm going to change up my project dimensions, get it ready for kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm going to change my camera's location to 7 and -7 as usual, 5 for the height and 45 for the Z rotation. Save that. I'm going to also switch over to an orthographic perspective. You guys know I love my orthographic perspective. Cycles, GPU, slap on an HDRI. I usually do this with every project just to get the lighting going and get something good looking here. So let's go with this HDRI. Let's go over to rendered view. Make sure everything is working correctly. Now you're not going to really see the HDRI because we're in orthographic view, but if you zoom out and you look around, you'll see it. Add mesh plane. Let's just go ahead and get a nice surface to work with here so that we can kind of better visualize our 3D world, and it kind of just helps me get like a grounded area to work with. So we're not going to apply any physics to this just yet. So what I want to do is I want to add in some of our default primitives and build everything I need to out of that. So the first thing I'm going to build is that actual sorting machine. So I'm going to add in a cylinder, move it up on the Z-axis. I'm going to go ahead and scale it down a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to add a few modifiers. Firstly, I'm going to add a bevel modifier. I am then going to add an edge split modifier and then a subdivision surface modifier. I'm going to set the subdivision to 2. I'm going to right click, shade smooth, object, apply, scale, so that we actually have our scale applied. I'm also going to reduce our bevel significantly, and this is looking pretty good. So the way I want this to work is I want there to be a place for this stuff to enter and for it to exit. So ideally, I'm first going to inset the top so that we actually have a concave shape. And so to do that, I'm going to hop into edit mode, click on inset faces, go to my face select mode, select this top face. I'm going to inset this a couple times here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press GZ to move this down. We'll just make sure it doesn't go through the bottom here. So I'm going to barely make it hug the bottom. That's perfect. That is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly the thing that I want. This little tray is going to actually sort out our objects. In order for it to sort out our objects, we're going to need some holes inside of it. But before we do that, let me go ahead and create the thing that is actually going to be shuffling everything around. So it's going to be rotating. Let me first go ahead and add in an empty. Let me move it up on the Z-axis. Let me put it right in the middle here. It doesn't really matter. You can even scale it down if you'd like. You can use any type of empty. I'm just using the default. Let's go ahead and add a mesh. Let's add in a cube. Let's move it up on the Z-axis. Let's scale it down. Move it up a little bit more. Scale it in. So now I'm going to go to my top-down view so it's easier to see everything. And I'm actually going to scale this on my Y-axis. Oops, wrong axis. Y-axis like that. And I want it to barely touch the edge there. That looks good. And I want it to go all the way up and down so that it's the same height as our cylinder here. In order to do that, I'm going to hop into X-ray mode. I'm going to move it down. And I'm just going to get it as close as I can. That looks pretty good. I'm going to try my best to line it up with the bottom here. We don't want it to be too close because if it's too close, we're going to get clipping errors and we're going to get some weird rigid body physics. Object, apply, scale, and let's go ahead and we're going to add a probably a mirror modifier to this, but first I want to add a bevel. I'm going to reduce that bevel significantly. I'm also going to scale this on the X-axis. I want it to be thinner. I think that's perfect. And every time you guys scale something, make sure you're applying your scale. I'm going to right click, shade smooth, and I'm going to add one more segment to our bevel. And this is pretty much all I want, and this is going to rotate around the Z-axis like this. But I'm thinking I might use two of them. Be honest, we only need one though, now that I think about it. Let me think for a second. We could do one or we could do two. Let's keep it at one for now. If we need to, we'll add another one later. So everything is good to go. We can collapse our little bevel modifier here. I'm going to go over to the physics tab and I'm going to click on rigid body. I'm going to click on passive and then I'm going to click on mesh. We should be set up to go. To be honest, we don't really need this empty. The only reason I was going to use this is so we could parent two objects. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to insert a keyframe for my rotation. I'm going to press play. I think 120 will do it. So we'll just do this all the way to 120, set our Z rotation to 360, insert another keyframe, and then we're going to change our output properties. Our frame range, we're just going to set that to 120. Let's go ahead and play this back, make sure everything looks like it's moving properly. I think that's good. Let me check the top-down view, make sure this is properly rotating. I think it's good. Is it centered properly? I believe it is. I just want to make sure nothing's off. That looks good. So again, you guys can change the speed. You can change the actual frame rate and everything. I think this is going to turn out really cool. Let me just hop over to rendered view real quick. I'm going to go ahead and click on my little cylinder shape here. And I'm just going to give this a quick little shader. I'm just going to give it a darker shader so we can kind of see what's going on. And then for this middle piece, let's go ahead and give this let's give it the same shader for now. That's fine. Now, you know what? We're going to give it just a slightly brighter shader. How about something like that? So now when this moves, it's going to shuffle everything that it needs to shuffle. Guys, this is going to end up looking really cool. I'm really excited about this one, because this was just a random idea that I had. All right, let's go ahead and create a way to drop our shapes in. I'm going to add in a mesh cylinder, bring it up on the Z-axis, scale it down, go to my side view, kind of bring it down here. Scale it up a little bit more. That looks pretty good. And I want it to be centered on my Y-axis, which it is. X is fine. You can just get that to kind of like where you want it. I think that looks pretty much perfect. I am going to go to Object, Apply, Scale. I'm actually going to duplicate this object, and I'm going to scale it in a little bit. And then I'm going to scale it on the Z-axis, and we're going to cut through our original cylinder with a Boolean modifier. So I'm going to click this cylinder, go to my modifiers tab, click on modifiers, Boolean, and then I'm going to select this center one right here. Let's make sure this worked. It did not work. Why is it not working? Apologies, guys. Oh, I think I might have to apply this scale here as well. Okay, that's really weird. It should be working, but we can do this in edit mode. It's fine. All right, just tab into edit mode, select that top face. Guys, as you can see, I don't have time to make things work, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how I would do this anyway. I'm going to inset the face a couple of times, and like we did before, I'm going to move it all the way down, GZ. But this time, I'm going to move it a little bit past the bottom, and then I'm going to try to delete a few things on the bottom to make this work. So let's go ahead and tab back into edit mode, and then we're going to delete all these faces and all the vertices and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this face, delete this face as well, and then we should be able to connect all these on the bottom. I'm going to go to my side view, SZ0, to select all the, I'm going to select the vertices, SZ0, that should be good. Oh, you want to go to your X-ray mode, sorry guys, SZ0, there we go. All right, so now everything is lined up on the bottom, and I think, I want to say it's F to, is F the thing? Guys, to be honest, modeling is not my strong suit, but I think it's F. Let me make sure it's F, hold on. There it is, okay, F. I think we're good. So now we just need to cut out this face here. Oops. Delete faces. All right, that's very strange. I am not sure why that's happening. All right, we'll come back to that. It's fine for now. Basically, I just wanted to make a tube. I don't know why that was acting the way it was, guys. I apologize about that. Normally, when you join all those, you just merge by distance, I think. I'll try it one more time, and if this doesn't work, we'll come right back to it. As you can tell, I am absolutely no expert at modeling here. I'm just going to go to Vertex. Where is it? Merge, merge, merge. Mesh. Oh, here we go. Merge. By distance, maybe? That didn't work, but that's okay. I'm gonna undo that. Okay, it's not letting me undo. Alright, that's fine. Alright, we'll come back to this. We don't really need this bottom, but we will come back to this. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I'm still gonna move this down on the Z-axis, and I'm actually gonna make this a, like, glass shader. Apologies for the poor modeling skills there. We're going to make this a glass shader. I'm going to go ahead and give this a, I'm going to get rid of the Boolean operation, and I'm going to give this a edge split. Where's edge split? And then I'm going to give it a subdivision surface. There we go. I just watched your Instagram and subscribed to your YouTube. Thank you so much. Hi, Kenny. What are we doing today? We're creating a physics simulation. A-Run Gautam says hi. Hello. Thank you for joining the live stream. All right, so cool. All right, so I just wanted to make this glass tube. I'm going to lower the roughness a bunch so we can see through this a little bit. And now I'm going to figure out a way to introduce some spheres into our simulation just so we can make sure everything's working properly. So we have our glass tube. Let me just snap the camera view and move the camera up too. Cool. And I'm going to go ahead and make this floor white. Actually, let's make it like, what is this? There we go. Yeah, let's make it white, and let's move it down a little bit. And we'll just bring the metallic up, lower the roughness a little bit. You know how I like my metallic materials. We'll come back to that, though. All right, so let's make sure everything's working. Yep, we got our animation for our little stick thing in the middle there, and that's going to sort everything out. Let's go ahead and create some objects to come through our sphere here, but or our cylinder. Before we do that, let's make a physics body for our cylinder object. I'm just going to apply the scale one more time, and I'm going to click on rigid body, passive, and then shape mesh. Let's just go ahead and drop a few spheres down there and make sure everything is properly working. I'm going to click on icosphere. I'm going to bring it up, scale it down, move it above our cylinder here, scale it down some more. That looks fine right there. Oh, it's not above our, there we go. Now it's above our cylinder. So I'm going to move this inside of our cylinder, and I'm going to duplicate it a few times. But before I do that, I'm going to add a rigid body, active, convex hull. That's fine. Object applies scale. Let's duplicate this. Let's just make sure these actually fall down. Oh, they do. Are we missing a rigid body on this? Yeah, so guys, we're actually missing a rigid body on the actual shape that really needs it. So let me go ahead and add a passive rigid body to our, this like cylindrical shape, the tray down here. All right, now let's go ahead and play this back again. It should be working properly. Cool. And it looks like they're not being affected. Why are they not being affected? Active. Let's try to make this active and see if that helps. Okay, that's weird. They should be affected with the collision. mesh, convex hull, convex hull. Let's use convex hull on this. Oops, no, we're not. Sorry about that, guys. It should be working. I'm not sure why it's not. Passive. Oh, we want to click on animated. Let's see if that helps. All right, cool. All right, so I kind of forgot that, guys. Sorry about that. Pro tip, click on animated so that you can actually move your objects around. So everything looks pretty good. Now, you only want to click on animated, I guess, for the things that are actually moving. These, you don't need it because they're active, so they're going to be like actively moving around with gravity and things like that. So let's go ahead and add some more spheres and just make sure the physics are looking good the way we want them, and then we can really, really go crazy with this. I'm just going to add like a ton in here. I just want to see if this overflows too, because odds are it might. Let's go ahead and play this back, see what we're getting here. Cool, and it looks like the spheres are properly being shuffled around by our physics shape in the middle here. So I'm pretty happy with this so far. This is the part that we get to choose our different sphere sizes, and then we need to kind of keep those in mind to cut our holes into our cylinder. Now, I am curious, if I use a Boolean shape on this cylinder, or this tray down here, to cut out a hole, will it be applied to the physics or not? I want to test this and see if it works. I'm going to add in a Boolean object, but I'm going to put it before everything else. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make a new cylinder. Okay, bring it up, scale it. And I'm just going to test this for our Boolean object and see if it cuts into our shape or not, and if it's affected by physics. Let's select our cylinder, and I'm going to call this test Boolean. Again, guys, this is the first time I'm doing this. It's probably not going to work. It's fast. Difference. Doesn't seem to be wanting to work for me. I have a feeling it's because of the edge split. No, surprisingly not. Okay, that seemed to have worked. The damn subdivision surface modifier it always seems to mess things up when you use Booleans. For now, we're just going to turn it off, and I do want to see if the physics are applied here, so let's just test it. No, they're not. Okay, so we're going to actually end up having to apply our Boolean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate my shape here. I'm going to bring it down on the Z-axis, and this is going to be our backup. I'm just going to call this backup tray so we can come back to it. And we are going to delete it. Well, we're going to hide it, apply all those modifiers to the new one. And then we're going to take the physics body off of the backup tray, because if it's on, it is going to still affect our physics. So I'm taking that off. And then we're going to select this, and now let's try to cut a hole into this now and see what happens. Let's add in where's our Boolean test? There it is. Let's go ahead and add a Boolean object, or a Boolean modifier. Select this. All right, that seemed to have worked. Let's apply this and then play our simulation and see what happens. Cool. All right, so it looks like the spheres are indeed getting shuffled in there, which is exactly what I wanted. Cool, that's awesome. It's really interesting because now that I'm thinking about this, I think we might need multiple Booleans to have like almost like a cheese grater style hole effects for these things to fall through. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to unapply my Boolean because I'm going to make multiple Booleans. But before we do that, we actually need to figure out what shape or what size we want the rest of our spheres to be. So these are going to be the small spheres. So I'm actually going to duplicate one of these, and I'm going to match a cylinder to this. I'm just going to call this sphere template 1. And then I'm going to get rid of the physics body on that. And I'm going to go to my top-down view. I am going to take my test Boolean. I'm going to get rid of our Boolean for a second here. I'm going to match our Boolean to this size as closely as I can. That should be perfect. It's just enough so that it can catch these smaller spheres if the sphere is to fall over it. So I'm going to just barely make it bigger, just like that. I think that's perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate a bunch of these and place them kind of randomly. In fact, I might just do a quick array, and then I'm going to join them all and cut the holes out of this side. So I'm going to go ahead and add a modifier, array modifier. I'm going to do 1.2 or so, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a few of these. How about that? That looks fine. Let's do 5 and then move this over on the y-axis. That looks good. And let's duplicate the modifier, and we'll do the same thing on the x-axis. 1.2 and 0. Cool. And then we'll just go ahead and do something like that. I think that's perfect. I'm going to apply these, and then I'm going to click on my cylinder, add a Boolean modifier, and we're going to go ahead and cut these shapes out of our cylinder here. Now, the cylinder looks really weird, and I don't know why, guys. I apologize. I clicked on Auto Smooth, and it fixed it, so we're going to go with that. All right, I am going to go ahead back to my modifiers for our tray, and I'm going to add another Boolean modifier. And I'm not going to select anything yet because we're going to need to make our other cutout shape, and this is going to be the one that collects the big spheres. So let me think for a second. It's tough, or should we have it collect even smaller spheres? Let me think. Let me go back to this. Let's duplicate this and create our other size that we want for our spheres. Maybe something like that, because that cannot fall into these holes. So that should be perfect. Let's add in a cylinder, bring it up on the z-axis, and let's make it barely smaller than this. Cool. That should be just enough for it to be able to fall through. Bring it down, and then we're going to create a modifier, an array modifier. 1.2, that's fine. So it looks like this is where our big spheres will get collected, and this is where the small ones will get collected. The only thing is, the small spheres can also fall into the big sphere category as well. So I'm trying to think about how we can solve that. Let me think for a second on the fly here. Get a quick drink of water while we're thinking about this. Sorry guys, I know this is quite unprofessional for my video, but I'm trying to think about how to still make this really cool. Let me think. I guess we could just test it and see what it looks like. There's going to be small ones that pop in here anyway. How do you get the small ones to go first and then the big ones? You would need more holes probably to collect those small ones, right? Yeah, maybe we make a few more holes and see what we get from there. Where's the test boolean? All right, so there it is right there. Let's go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this, bring it over on the x-axis, and then we're going to go ahead and cut this down a little bit. We're going to tab into edit mode, A, and then we're going to do separate by loose parts. I'm just going to select a few of these, delete them. Cool. All right. We're only going to use these 3 for the rest of the Boolean. So I'm going to join these, and then I'm going to click on this. And for my second Boolean, I'm going to select those, hide those. Cool. Now we have more holes on this side. Let's add one more Boolean modifier, and let's select. Oops. Let me join these 2. Let me apply that array, and let's go ahead and select those for our last object. Cool. So now we have holes on both sides. We have holes on this side and we have holes on that side. We have the bigger holes to collect the bigger spheres and the smaller ones right here. So when everything drops down, I'm going to actually have this run way slower. I'm going to go out to frame 500, and I'm going to make sure that this thing rotates over a period of 500 frames. Cool. I'm just moving these keyframes over on our timeline, so now this is going to move much slower. So now if we go ahead and play this back, we don't have any large spheres yet. Let's just go ahead and watch what happens. Oh, right, we have to apply our Booleans. Sorry about that, guys. Let me apply these Booleans. And then our physics shape should be updated. What is our physics mesh, surface response, sensitivity margin? Let's turn that on. Let me just see something here, guys. Hold on. There we go. That's better. All right, so I adjusted my sensitivity margin in the passive rigid body here, and everything seems to be falling properly now. So let's go ahead and play this back. Everything should be shuffled in there properly. See, we have a few stragglers right here, so when this thing comes around, it's probably going to push them in here, or it's going to completely glitch out. I'm not sure why it's glitching out. Let me adjust the surface response of this too. See if this helps at all. For some, physics are tricky in Blender. Sometimes I don't know why things are acting the way they are. Yeah, that's so weird. Convex hull. All right, let's adjust the collision margin on all of our shapes up here. So let me go to my side view, make this unselectable. Cool. And let's go to X-ray mode. Let's select all of these. Well, first we'll select one. For our collision margin, let's do 0.001. And let's just copy it over to everything else. Copy from active. And let's go ahead and play this back now. Cool. Again, guys, this is physics simulations are kind of a pain, if you couldn't tell already. All right, it looks like they're... See, why are they stopping there? What's happening there? Something must be hidden from my view here. Well, these don't have a physics body, do they? Just making sure nothing else has a physics body. No. Oh, this is hidden. Wait. Does this have a physics body? No? These don't either. Apologies, guys. This should not be happening, and I don't know why it's happening. Oh, you know what? Our rigid body world stops. I bet you the cache stops at 250. Yep, that's it. I think that's why. Let me just make sure. All right, let's try it again. I think that might be the reason. We're going to go ahead and find out. Let me hide these. Let's go ahead and play this back. Again, guys, sorry about that. This is kind of like how physics simulations go. The other tray is a backup tray, for those asking. All right, we're good. So, little thing that I learned today that I didn't know. You have to have your cache going as far as your simulation goes. Most of you are probably thinking, yes, duh, Kenny, you're an absolute idiot. I didn't even know that. So, yeah. All right, this is awesome. I'm very happy about this. This is great. Now, this is the part where I add more spheres. So, where is our big sphere at? All right, so this is going to be our big sphere. So, I'm going to duplicate that and hide the other one. Okay, so this is the one we're going to want to do a rigid body on. So I'm going to add a rigid body, active, convex hull. Collision margin is going to be 0.001. Perfect. And we're on frame 1 here, guys. I'm going to bring this up here. I'm going to bring it like right into our tube here. I'm going to go to my X-ray mode, and I'm going to put it sort of in the center here. Let's go ahead and put it like right there. These are all going to be like sort of in the way. So I'm actually going to take my cylinder that I have unselected, bring it up, bring it up, SZ to scale it even more. Okay, and we're going to just be able to put a bunch of physics objects in here. So this is going to be great. Let me go ahead to Object, Apply, Scale. I'm going to go ahead and again make that unselectable so that we can move everything up. And I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate a bunch of objects here, and we're going to see what happens. Again, this is probably not the best way to do this, but it works. Let's go ahead and see what we get now, guys. Everything should be properly set up for the physics simulation. This we can hide, and we should be good to go. Okay, so as you can see, a few things spilled out, but that's okay. Everything's working properly. The big spheres should not shuffle into anything but these holes. Perfect. Cool. So as you can see, this is the problem I knew we were going to have. These ones, we're going to go ahead and fall through these bigger holes here. So I don't really know how to solve that without cutting more into this sphere, but it's kind of funny how they all go flying out. But overall, physics simulation is working properly. We do have everything being sorted in one way or another. We could add one more sorting tray below. What if we duplicated this whole sorting tray and had it sort one more time? Because I actually think that would work. And then we're going to make the collection tray at the bottom. So Yeah, let's do that. Let's take this and duplicate them. I'm just going to go ahead to my side view here, duplicate this, and we are going to, I'm actually going to flip this 90 degrees, or 180 degrees. Perfect. And then I'm going to duplicate this as well, and bring it down on the Z-axis. Now, this might pop right back up. Nope, it does not, because we never keyframe the location, only the rotation. So this should be good. Let me just check where it is and compare it to the other one. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, kind of match it with the other one. So now these should both be spinning. And let's go ahead and see if we're getting more sorting here. I'm going to flip this back around 180. And let's go ahead and see what we get now. Oh, I think I know what to do, guys. I think I know what to do. Maybe this one should start at a different area. Oh, let me think. This is where it's like, how crazy can we get with these physics here? I also still have not made a collection tray, so let me just let me make that real quick. Let's make a cylinder. Let's go to our side view, bring it up. We're gonna have this basically split into two halves for our simulation. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to tab into edit mode, go to my face select. I'm gonna inset it a little bit, probably twice like I usually do. I'm just gonna bring this down towards the bottom. GZ to bring it in like that. That's fine right there. And as you can see, we have a nice little cup for the collection. And I actually just realized, in order to make this modeling simpler, I'm just gonna duplicate this thing, bring it down, and I'm going to get rid of the keyframes so now it shouldn't be animated, and I'm just going to scale it on the Z-axis like this. I'm going to bring it in the middle, scale on the Z-axis a bunch, bring it down, object, apply, scale, and that is going to be our little divider. And then if we go into our rendered view, I'm going to make these two the same glass material as our tube. So I'm going to click on this, add our glass material in. I'm going to add our glass material to this. And then let's go ahead and add an edge split modifier to our cup. Where is edge split, and then subdivision. Shade smooth. That looks good, shade smooth. Let's apply the scale to our cup. Oops. Apply scale, that's fine. Cool. All right, so let's see if everything actually collects now. I'm going to also move it up. Oh, I realize we don't have a rigid body set on this thing right here. So let's go ahead and add a rigid... Oh, we do. Rigid body passive. Yep, we're good. And this one needs a rigid body passive type. Collision margin 0.001. Cool. Save. Convex hull's fine. Let's try and see if we can get a good simulation going here. Let's see how well our sorting machine actually works. Why is it not working? Mesh 0.001, 0.001. Guys, something is glitching. Might be this. Bring it down a little bit. Let's try again. Something is getting caught up, and I don't know why. Gotta love how just everything explodes all over the place every single time. Hold on. There we go. Why is that not falling through? Alright, instead of convex hull for our cylinder here, I'm going to click on mesh, and I think that's going to fix it. Yep, alright, we're good. Alright, so let's see if everything is sorting properly. It's actually not too bad. Our sorting machine is working pretty good. We are going to get some of those on the other side. For the most part, it's working pretty well. We could develop this further, but I like it so far. I think it's fun to watch. Let's go ahead and watch it from this view. We also have to give shaders to our spheres and stuff, but we could probably make the bigger balls could be blue and the small ones could be red or something. What do you guys think? Can you end the stream with a little cell fracture in the end? Please, just an easy blast. I saw your old video, but no shading. No shading. I didn't add shading to that. I'm sorry. All right. Let's go ahead. Someone said, bro. Yeah, man. This is the stuff, bro. This is it. All right, let's go ahead and apply material to our big spheres. I'll just make this blue, metallic, low roughness. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on our other ones. And lastly, this one, Control L, link materials. Let's just make sure that properly worked. It did. We have a blue shader for our icospheres here. Let me click on this one, and let's just give this a red shader. Maybe like that. And metallic, low roughness. I'm not really going with anything crazy here, guys, as you can see. Although I am applying all the materials with Control L to link the materials. Whoops, the floor got linked too. Let's set it back to that. Cool. All right, so we have our spheres here. We have our little sorting machine, and it is working. Let's go ahead and play it back again and check it out. You're going to get a different result every single time, I believe. But for the most part, it's working pretty well. It seems to be sorting our spheres properly. And yes, guys, if we wanted to, we could add one more layer with our trays. Like you could add as many trays as you want. I almost want to make these trays glass so you can see through them. What do you guys think? Let's make everything glass. And then what's great about this glass is now we can adjust the transparency as much as we want. Is this also glass? Yeah, it is. So now you have each tray. Oops. You have to start at frame 1 or 0 when you're playing back your rigid body simulation, but overall, this looks pretty good. You are good at using Blender, man. Thank you. It's what I teach. I wouldn't teach it if I wasn't, like, at least decent at it. You know what I'm thinking, guys, though? Is that I want to... I don't love it. I don't love that it doesn't perfectly sort every single time. The way you would get it to perfectly sort is you would have some kind of a ramp. Like if you guys have heard of Coinstar where you go and put your coins in, it'll actually have a ramp, and as those coins fall down, it'll start with the smallest size first and work its way up to the biggest size. We can do that next time, but for now, I'm enjoying this. This is cool. You know what we could do? We could have a force. We could do some kind of a force field in here to really encourage these to go to one side or the other, but I don't want to go like too crazy here. Let me see what happens if we increase the gravity too, because then maybe they'll be more likely to fall down there. The gravity right now is set to negative 9.8 meters a second squared, which is the standard rate of gravity. Let me put it at negative 20 and let's see what it looks like. That might have actually worked a little bit better. You know what, guys? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cheat a little bit, and we're gonna add a second one of these. So let me duplicate this, and then I'm gonna delete the keyframes. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees. Okay. I'm gonna insert a keyframe rotation. We're gonna go to 500. We're gonna add 360 to that. And we're going to insert another keyframe. So now when we play this back, we actually do have multiple things moving everything around up here. And guys, I actually think that might have worked better. I think that might have worked way better. Hold on, let's check. Did it work better? Or worse? Huh, might be worse. All right, another thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to bring this cylinder down even more so that it's closer to our surface. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to bring it down so that it's dropping these much closer. I gotta make sure there's enough room for the bigger spheres to come out. Let's check this out. See if everything's getting backed up here. Huh. I kind of like that. I think I kind of like that more. I think that might have solved some of our problem there too. All right, I have one more idea, guys. We could do one more tray that happens before the final. So it could be these two trays and then one more tray, right? Let me think. Because it seemed, where are these things getting pushed out to? I want to watch this for a second. They're getting pushed into these spheres here, or these holes. Someone said nice. Thank you. Appreciate it. He is Kenny, Blender Boss. This is like the longest tutorial I've ever made. It's working really, really well. Let's see if these ones fall in. Do they? Why is that one doing nothing? Some of these... Is this sphere moving? Okay, it is moving. We're good, we're good. Alright, cool. And then this one's going to fall right through. Again, you guys can bake your animation to, or your simulation if you want. I love this stuff. I have so much fun with these physics simulations, and they're so easy to make, in my opinion. It's getting stuck up there, and then it goes through. The big spheres, we're fine. We're not getting any big spheres on this side because it's basically impossible to get them over there. We need a better way to collect the small spheres, though. There's definitely... Should we add one more? Should we add this one to the bottom, too? So we have a second one down there. Let's do it. Cool. All right, so now we have two of the, like, shuffling pieces there to shuffle everything. Let's just see if it helps at all. No. Alright guys, I have one last idea that we can do. You ready for this? I think this will actually work this time. Will it? Guys, I'm thinking way too hard about this. Way too hard. And if we looked up sorting machine, I know exactly what it would show. Because I know what these things look like. Let me bring this down. Let me also look at my camera view. See what we got going here real quick. This is wild. Am I on GPU? Yeah, I am. Okay, thank God. This is cool looking, though. I actually think this sorting machine is freaking awesome, guys. What do you think? All right, let me bring this down a little bit more. I think I'm going to add a little bit to my sorting machine here. I'm going to add one more like layer that's going to hopefully get the remainder of those red pieces out and where they should be. Okay, if I push that over there and I go like that, let me think. I'm thinking out loud here, guys. Hold up. Let me bring a cube up here. I'm thinking we might be able to utilize some kind of... Oh, what if we made a little bit of wind, right? Like a force, right? But it only affected the smaller things. For example, we just made the weight and the mass of all the big spheres so big, so much, that they would be affected by anything else. The weight right now is 1 kilogram. Let's make them 10. I'm just going to go through and manually do it without copying them. You could copy all the rigid body. Here, I'll copy it for these three. Object, rigid body, copy from active. Cool. And now everything should have a mass of 10 kilograms. Let's play the simulation back real quick. So these are going to be much, much heavier now. And they're going to drop straight down. They should just drop straight down when they get shuffled in. Yep, they do. Okay, cool. So they shouldn't be affected by a force field too much. But let's add in a force field and see what we can do. Add in force field. Let's add in just a regular force. I'm going to go to my side view. And I'm going to go to the area where I want the smaller ones to collect. And I'm going to put it towards the bottom left here. And for the strength, I'm going to do negative 100. And let's just see what happens. I don't know that everything is going to be properly affected. But let's just go ahead and see if those smaller ones are pulled into that general direction. Look. You see how they are being pulled towards that direction? All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to add something here that... Hold on, let me think about this. There's a way to... I'm on to something here, guys. Let me bring my force field up. and on the z-axis. And I'm going to put it right here instead. Because even if our big spheres are attracted to that, it's not going to matter because we want our smaller spheres to be attracted to that. The big sphere is going to get pushed into the other hole anyway, I think. So far, it's working pretty well. All right, we missed one there. Our ratio is much better now, though. All right, here's what we're going to do. One more thing we're going to do. Move this up. SZ, scale it on the Z-axis. Sorry, guys, this is a really long tutorial, but I hope you're learning something here. Physics simulations are all about experimenting, like they just are. If this doesn't work, I'll be really surprised. I'm going to do -400 for our force, and let's see what happens now. This is gonna be intense. It looks like it's working. We're gonna lose a few spheres still. That's really frustrating. For the most part, it's working really well. Because you see how those smaller spheres are more encouraged to go to the other side? How did this guy get up here? You guys see the little straggler up there? How did he get up here and how is he stuck there? It's weird. That's just something that happens with physics. Awesome. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that. The ratio is just so much better. Maybe we can duplicate our force field on the left side to kind of encourage those smaller spheres to stay on the left side. So now we're duplicating that force field. Let's go back and play it one more time. Again, this isn't the best method because some of those spheres are going to fall through. Yeah, look, see how they're collecting right here? But did we get any small spheres? Huh! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is hysterical. I mean, that is what the force field does, but that's cool. Look at that. Look, these ones are out here. Oh my god, I'm laughing, guys. Anyone else just see that? Powerful PC, bro. Yeah, it's powerful. That's hysterical. I mean, guys, I asked for this. You know what I'm going to do, though? Let's see if this works. I'm going to bring this down below our object, like right here towards the center. And let's go ahead and see if it works now. God, these physics simulations are tiring as hell. Looks good so far. Looks good so far. All right, guys, I think we did it. There's just one more sphere that hasn't fallen down yet. Well, I guess we never went far enough for that, but that's okay. So at the end here, guys, as you can see, we successfully sorted our spheres, the bigger ones on the right and the smaller ones on the left. We did it. I mean, we did it. That was what we wanted to do. Guys, that was more or less the physics simulation. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how to do that. Just a fun little thing to like go through. I love putting out these types of tutorials because I feel like you guys really appreciate it. Once I am done with the file, I am going to upload it to my Google Drive, which is connected to my Patreon. So you guys will be able to access this if you are a Tier 2 supporter. So super excited to see who's going to sign up for that. Obviously, I really appreciate the support, and you guys are going to get a lot of use out of these files. So super excited. I guess now will be a great time to tell you I have launched my Patreon. I will include a link in the description for this YouTube video below. And then I'll go ahead and like render this out and everything when I'm finally done with all the shading and whatnot. But overall, the physics simulation looks great. It's clearly working. And I think I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you guys did too. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of these types of physics simulations. Is this something you want to see more of? And just give me your feedback. Like, I'm all ears. So hope to see you guys on Patreon. Also, join the Discord. We have 150 members in there right now, and we're growing very fast. So I'm really excited to see you guys sharing your work in there. getting feedback. There's a help section. I'm also posting new tutorials in there when they come out. So it's just a great little community that we're building over there, and there's a lot of very, very talented artists that are a part of it. So I do hope that you guys can actually join the Discord. I hope to see you there, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Cool. All right, guys. So we got through the tutorial. That was mainly what I wanted to do, but we'll mess around with this a little bit more. That was a very long video for a tutorial, so I'm probably going to get lunch in a second here, but we can come back to this. I'll try to live stream after I'm done lunch. And what I want to do is I really want to add more physics bodies to this. Like right now, like this is a lot. I want to add more. Like this cube, where is the thing I can't select? This cylinder right here, I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to scale it on the z-axis even more. Okay. Object apply scale, right? Make it unselectable again. And I'm going to copy all of my physics, well, except for our force field. I'm going to copy all of these physics objects. And I'm going to move them up. And then we're going to have to go back to our cylinder again and compensate for that higher height there. Cool. And object apply, not rotation, object apply scale. There we go. All right, guys, let's play it back one more time. And this time we're going to play it all the way out to 1,000 frames. So I'm going to adjust all of the settings here. All right, let's go ahead and play this back. Ready for this, guys? This one's going to be a longer simulation, so I'm excited to just kind of play this, see where it goes. All right, so everything seems to be working. I'm curious. I'm curious to see with more if it's going to work. It looks to be working so far. I think we're good so far. Guys, we have like a pretty much 100% success rate. Guys, look at this. Let's go to rendered view. 100% success rate. We have successfully sorted 2 sizes of spheres with some simple physics simulations in Blender. I mean, guys, what can I say? I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy we did this. He said, haha, that's fun. Yeah. All right, so someone asked for, what did you guys ask for? Cell fracture. All right, we can do it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one more tutorial. Cell fracture tutorial real quick, how to like break up a cube that's been cell fractured, and then we're gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna be done live streaming for the day. All right, one more, that's it. Okay, so let me open up a new file, and I'm gonna start a new recording, and we're gonna go ahead and hop right into this. Let me just check the comments real quick. Someone said hi, hello. Someone said ha ha ha, hi yogis. What? Don't know what you're saying, but that's okay. You remind me of Tom Holland. Yeah, I've gotten that before. I actually have gotten that many, many times. It's funny. I know I kind of like look like him a little bit. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and do this. So, before I do this, I need to go to my preferences, add-ons, cell fracture, and I need to enable that. Actually, I'm going to show that in the tutorial because everyone's going to complain to me. So, all right. Hey guys, welcome back to another physics tutorial. Today we're going to be doing another cell fracture style tutorial. So the first thing we're going to need to do in our new document is we're going to have to go up to Edit, Preferences, and go to our add-on section here. And then we're actually going to click on cell fracture. We're going to type in cell or whatever, cell fracture. Double check that. Make sure that is checked. Once that's checked, we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and save this as cell fracture. Oops. I know you guys are very excited about this cell fracture tutorial. Cell fracture tutorial, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. Cool. So I'm going to delete the light. Let's go ahead and focus on this cube for a second. I believe you go to Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. So that's how you get to your cell fracture area. So I'm going to click on Cell Fracture, and then you can adjust all these settings. I'm not going to really go into them to be honest, because I don't really understand all of them. You can set a source limit. Let's just press OK and see what it does for us. Okay. We're going to go back. Actually, those settings were not correct. Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. Oh, I know what's going on here. I think we have to subdivide this first, if I remember correctly. Let's subdivide it a few times, and then let's go to Object, Quick Effects, cell fracture. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. You need to subdivide it first, and then you cell fracture. Cool. So now our cube is fractured up. Now, before we do anything else, go ahead and click on the original cube and just hide that. We don't need that right now. Now let's go ahead and apply some physics. We want to click on one of our little fractured pieces here. Just go over to the physics tab, click on rigid body, click on active, and then click on mesh. Dynamic is fine, 1 kilograms is fine. And then with that selected, shift, highlight everything else. Object, rigid body, where is it? Copy from active. There we go. All right, and then I'm just going to add in a floor plane for everything to fall onto underneath of that. I'm going to scale that up. I'm just going to go to my side view so I make sure it's like kind of touching like that. Expand it. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply a rigid body to this. Passive. And we're going to do convex hull. That's fine. Object, apply, scale. And if we press play, everything should fall apart. Or it'll explode like that. So the reason it's exploding is because all these pieces are touching. So immediately, if that's what you want, there you go. You can have everything explode like that. What I was going to show you guys is a way to kind of break everything apart with like a sphere. But that actually looks really cool, so we might just go with that. More or less, that is how you do cell fracture and apply actual physics to it. Another thing you could do is go to your side view. Make sure your plane is not selectable when you do this. So I'm going to go all the way down to my plane, click this little arrow here, and I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to bring it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and go on set origin to geometry. And then I'm going to click on, where is it? Go to this little button up here where it looks like a link and click on individual origins. Now scale everything down a little bit like that so that they're not touching as much. Let's go ahead and press play again. So they are going to still explode here. What you want to do is you want to adjust your collision margin, I believe. So let's go ahead and click on one of these objects. Go to surface or sensitivity, margin 0.01. And then again, we're going to go ahead and copy everything from active, object, rigid body, copy from active. Let's go ahead and press play now. See how they explode a little bit less? Looks like we're going to need to decrease the margin even more. We're going to go to 0.0001. And then we're going to go ahead and copy all those physics one more time. Copy from active. And let's go ahead and play it back again. It looks like the lower you make that value, the better result you're going to get. I'm not sure why they're exploding like that. They should not be. One, animated deforming, surface response, margin. It shouldn't be doing that. Let me lower this one more time, which is I should not even have to do, but object, rigid body, copy from active. Let's go ahead and play it back. Yeah, guys, sorry. I'm not sure why the margin is being very strange like that. Apologies for that. Dynamic, yeah. I'm just going to keep decreasing the margin and see what that does. Object, apply, or sorry, object, quick effects. Oh my god, copy from active. There we go. Alright, well, anyway, that's how you do a cell fracture. I'm probably not going to post this tutorial because I kind of messed it up a little bit, but so let me stop the recording. Let me get these physics right, and then we can go back to what I was going to show you guys. What is this guy? Oh, so sorry, Kenny. I tried to make the rigid body. I modeled a glass walling from cylinder, but it doesn't work. The active object stops where the upper surface of the cylinder was before. It's okay. Convert the shape to mesh. Yeah, you can convert the shape to mesh, or you can, when you click on your rigid body, make sure it's set to, instead of convex hull, set it to mesh, because that's going to screw things up. Hey, Kenny, love your tutorials. Thanks. No problem. Not an issue. I'm trying to figure out why the heck this thing is acting the way it is, guys, and I really want to apologize because this is not supposed to be happening. Collections, dynamics. Do I have to apply scale? Wait a second. I think I have to apply scale. Object, apply, scale. No. Object, apply, scale. So weird. Can it show me the physics bounds? Isn't there a way to show physics bounds on here? Hold on. Geometry, face orientation. I know there's a way to do that. Weird. Weird. Set to mesh. All these are set to mesh. Let's try convex hull and see what we get. Okay. God, that was really it. All right, guys. So convex hull was the reason it wasn't working. All right, we're going to restart the tutorial real quick. I'll explain everything again. Sorry, guys. The reason it wasn't working is because we had convex hull enabled. That's so annoying. All right. Origins, let me scale them back up. Because now we can do really cool stuff with this, and we can make it look like it is being like destroyed by a sphere, for example. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? Here we go. Yeah, see how now it's like gonna fall apart? So now what we can do is we can set all of these to, there's a way to set them to dynamic and then keyframe that. So see how it freezes when I check off dynamic? All right, let me go back and restart this tutorial. Because then what we can do is we can select all of them, and I believe you can unclick dynamic. Yep. So now they're all not gonna do anything, right? And then what we can do is we can keyframe them breaking apart. Let me just test something really quickly, guys, before I actually make the tutorial so that we don't screw anything up. This is going to have a rigid body, active, convex hull. Let's go ahead and just make sure this is working. Cool, it is. So it's going to hit everything else. But I don't want these to activate until this hits that. So I am going to select all of these. I wonder if I can keyframe all of the dynamics at once. Let's see. Nope, can't do that. I wonder. Oh, you can copy the animation data. All right, dynamics won't apply until the 7th frame. Keyframe again. Dynamics. Cool. So let's just check. All right. So basically, nothing is going to happen until the 7th frame. I should be able to shift click all these, right click, or control L, copy, what is it, copy animation data, link animation data. Ha! Okay, cool. So I actually figured it out. All right, guys, sorry about that. It's been a minute since I made one of these style tutorials, but that actually worked really well. So basically, nothing's going to happen until the exact moment where our sphere hits everything. Cool. Part of me wants to like have some downward force on this, but and we can also adjust the weight of the sphere. Now it weighs much more and it's going to affect everything much more. It's just so much fun messing with this stuff, but I'll probably make this tutorial. I could make this tutorial now, or I could make it he said that's the blast. I need this blast. That's it. Yeah, then I would do rigid body with, what did I do? Active, and then instead of convex hull, select mesh. So, all right, let's make the tutorial, and then I'm gonna upload everything, and I'm gonna go get lunch. All right, let me go ahead and start recording. Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to crush a cube with a sphere. I'm going to go ahead and play this back. This is what we're going to be creating today. Pretty simple stuff. It's actually super easy to create this, so let's go ahead and hop into a new file. File, new, general. I'm going to save this one. Now I'm going to save this as crush real quick. Save Blender file. Click on your cube, go into edit mode, subdivide it a few times. That should be fine. Make sure you have your cell fracture enabled. So go to your preferences, add-ons, type in cell fracture. Just make sure you have that checked so that we can do the next step. Go ahead and X out of that. With your cube selected, go to Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. You can keep all these default settings and then press OK. And as you can see, it's going to go ahead and break your cube up into different fractured pieces. I'm going to go ahead and save at this point, and I'm going to hide our original cube so it's not clipping into everything else. Let's go ahead and add in a mesh. scale it up a bunch, and we're going to bring it underneath of our cube. That looks pretty good. Just make sure it's barely touching the bottom of that cube. Object, apply, scale. Now for our floor here, I'm just going to go ahead and give this a rigid body. Type passive, convex hull is fine, and you should be good to go right there. Now what we want to do is we actually want to give these parts of our sphere rigid bodies as well. So for this rigid body, I'm just going to add a rigid body type active, shape, convex hull, mass, 1 kilogram. That's fine. The goal here is to copy that over to everything else. So go ahead and scroll down all the way to your plane and make sure that you cannot select it. In order to do that, click this little drop down right here, select this arrow, and then you want to deselect the arrow under plane. Now when you highlight everything, you're not actually accidentally going to select your plane. I'm actually going to delete this light, get that out of the way. With our piece selected that we applied our rigid body to, shift click and highlight everything else. Object, rigid body, copy from active. Now everything should be working properly. So if we press play, it's all going to fall apart. But how do we make it look like the sphere is actually breaking it apart? Well, we're going to first add in a mesh sphere. We're going to move it up above everything else. Apply a rigid body to it. Type active, convex hull. I'm going to give it a mass of 10 kilograms. Now, we're going to go ahead and press play real quick. As you can see, everything falls apart before our sphere even hits anything. We want everything to fall apart as soon as our sphere is about to make contact. So around frame 7. So I'm going to pull up our timeline here. Make sure you guys can see everything down here. So around frame 7, we're going to want to activate our physics on our cell fracture. But before then, we don't want anything to be activated. So there's a really easy way to do this. You want to click on your rigid body right here. You want to unclick dynamic, right? So now if we play this back, you see how that's just floating there? That is because the actual physics properties aren't going to apply until we actually animate that in. So I'm going to go ahead and keyframe dynamic right there, okay? I'm going to jump forward to frame 7. I'm going to check dynamic and insert a new keyframe. So now, if we go ahead and play this, around frame 7, this will begin to fall. Perfect. We want to do the same thing to everything else. But I don't want to have to go through and select every single one of these and animate them. Luckily, there's an easy way to do this in Blender. With our object selected, since we already have our keyframes applied to that, shift, click, everything else, Control L, and you want to click on Link Animation Data. And now, everything should stay perfectly still until frame 7. Just like that. And that is pretty much it, guys. You now know how to basically freeze time until you're ready for everything to interact. And again, you can change your mass of your sphere here to 20 kilograms if you'd like. So it really kind of pushes through all those objects. And if you want more particles, redo your cell fracture and raise that amount of pieces that you're going to be generating. So guys, I think this looks pretty good. You can apply some materials and lighting, but overall, this is pretty much how you would crush a cube with a sphere. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cool. All right, that was seamless. Let's go. This guy said, okay, fast, fast. Guys, I'm trying to get speedy with it because people don't like waiting around for shit. They just want to see it immediately. So I'm trying to get faster with these tutorials and give you guys exactly what you're looking for. So yeah, and this looks really cool. Let me just set up a quick shot for our whatchamacallit, for the thumbnail, and then I'm gonna go grab lunch. I'm just gonna set up a quick environment texture here. Let's just use, like, this one's fine. I'll go to cycles, GPU. Let's go to rendered view. How about we do metallic for our for this metallic roughness? Word, okay. And then I'm going to do that. Let's go to our plane here, and let's give it just like a nice metallic shader, low roughness. That's fine. Let's see here. Shade smooth. Where is our camera at? There it is. Let's just add in an empty plane axis, scale it up. Go to our solid view here. Let's parent the camera to the empty. Gotta love it. So now when we rotate our empty, we can control our camera position. Perfect. That looks cool. Alright, let's go ahead and get a lower camera angle here. Where's our empty at? Oh, our empty's all the way down here. Alright, let's get a lower camera angle. What are we at? 50 mil? Yeah, that's fine. Let me play back our simulation again. That's fun. I feel like that's pretty cool right there. I'm gonna go with that. Cool. Let's go ahead and rotate this 45 degrees, hop into edit mode, and let's extrude this side here. Where is our side select? There we go. I'm just going to go EZ. Oops. Or not EZ. There we go. And then I'm going to select this edge one more time. I'm going to click on bevel. I'm just going to bevel it a bunch. Give it a bunch of segments. Right click, shade smooth. Go back into rendered view. That looks good. Let's go ahead and click on our camera. I'm just going to test the edges here. That looks pretty cool. I want to adjust this a little bit. Maybe make it like blue or something. What would be a cool color for this? Maybe like, I do like blue a lot. That's fun. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I like that. What do you guys think? Cool or nah? Let's see what happens if we shade that smooth. Doesn't look very good at all. Whoa! What the hell just happened? Undo, undo, undo. Did I do something wrong? What in the world just happened? You can also use the option start deactivated for the cell fracture instead of dynamic. Oh yeah, no, that's true. You totally can. I didn't even think about that. Thank you. Start deactivated. Yes, because I have seen that before, and I'm like, what the hell does that do? Bro, what is... I'm boggled. Bro, hold up. Yo, this sphere is acting up right now. Anybody else seeing this shit? I mean, why is this happening? Oh, I think I know why it's happening. It's our floor. So what was happening there is our floor was set to type convex hull, and convex hull is a freaking pain in the ass because it seems to want to do whatever it wants with your mesh. So click on mesh. In some cases you want to click on mesh for your physics properties. Alright, that looks cool. Are we liking this blue? Are we feeling something else? Whoa, red's kind of cool. Yellow? What is the most color or attention grabbing color? Is it red? I feel like it might be red. That looks kind of cool though. We should subdivide our sphere. Give it a nice smooth surface. Sweet. What do you guys think? Are we chilling? Should we try a different HDRI? Whoa! I actually kind of like this one better. Guys, we might have to go with this one. We might have to do it. I like it. Let's make that the thumbnail, and then what does it say? Use stone gray. Oh yeah, let's try it. Let's try to use gray. See what it looks like. I do like this color a lot though. Stone gray would be like something like that. Oops, you know what? Hold on. Let me just do this. That actually looks pretty cool, not gonna lie, bro. Thank you for that. What color will the sphere be then? Copper? Some kind of copper color? Looks kind of cool. Oh man, there's literally 1,000,010 things you can do with Blender. Like, it's like there's almost like too many choices. It's like, what is the coolest thing? That's awesome. That looks so dope. I like that. All right, I think we're gonna go with something like that. I'm gonna render that and get a thumbnail going, but the lighting looks cool too. That actually turned out really, really cool. What are we calling this? Cell fracture. Sphere destroys cube. How to destroy a cube with a sphere. Easy money. Very fast render results. Everything is looking cool with your GPU. Yeah, let me actually just render this real quick. We're gonna render it at 200%. I love rendering big images because it just like gives me more to work with when I go to mess with them. Like, I can crop them, I can do all sorts of things. I can crop them into a square, I can crop them into like any size. Let's go to our light paths real quick. Don't need that. Set everything to 2, and we don't need volume. 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. All right, let's try this and let's see what we get here. We should get a nice crisp render from this. 10 minutes, psych! I ain't got time for that. Pretty cool. What's your system specs? GeForce RTX 3070 Ti, 2 terabyte solid state hard drive, Intel i9 chip, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 4 fan setup, and then it's like a nice black case with a Wi-Fi antenna. So it's pretty speedy. We're not about to do 1,000 samples. This is a perfect example of why you don't need 1,000 samples with your renders. Let me go ahead and take that down to 150, and I bet we get great results. All right, this should take less than a minute. 150 samples, optics denoising, and then we got 2 for every light path. So it should turn out pretty good. Looks like we got about 20 seconds left here. As soon as this is done, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we will. I'm gonna hop offline here because I got a few calls I gotta make. So. Let's go. That looks really good. It's almost done. Do I have depth of field enabled? No, I don't. That looks pretty crisp, though. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's looking pretty good, though. Let's zoom in a little bit, because we can. That's about the actual size of the image. Looks nice. It's a little noisy. If you really, really, really zoom in, it's a little noisy in here. So you can get rid of that with more samples. But no one's going to notice when it's this size as a YouTube thumbnail. So we should be good. That looks freaking crisp, though. I'm happy with that. So we'll use that for the thumbnail. I'm happy with that. Yeah. So, guys, anyway, I am going to go ahead and log off of all my live streams now, and I'm going to go get lunch. It's been real. It's been real fun. So go ahead and check out the Discord. Check out Patreon. I think you guys will really enjoy it. There's a lot of great benefits with the different tiers. And again, you can get some one-on-one time with me in terms of me teaching you guys stuff. It's basically like a personal mentorship. You get an hour with me. And then the other one is you guys can actually have, a collaboration with me. So, sorry, this tripod is not very great. Bro, please try like egg cracking. Egg cracking. That could be possible. That would be a challenge for Blender, but I could try it. Yeah, an egg cracking. I'm trying to think of even how I would go about doing that. I would probably do some kind of a fluid simulation and mess around with the fluid dynamics to get everything correct, because the inside of an egg is like a fluid in a way. It's just very like, what is it called? Like viscous kind of. So yeah, put it like 5-minute fractions in blender. 5-minute fractions. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, sir? All right. My laptop will die if I do more than 2,000 samples. Yeah, I don't really like going that high either. I mean, I've gone like, guys, I've done 50,000 samples before. If you go back in my Instagram profile, there was a glass shader I loved using. It was like a rainbow effect glass shader, and I used 50,000 samples one time for an image, and it took 3 hours to render, but it was incredible what you're able to achieve with those 50,000 samples. It was cool though. So, do you know how to activate the cell fracture when the sphere hits a normal cube and then the cube transform into parts? I don't know if you follow me. I'm from Argentina. Yeah, I actually should have put. So, you know what I should have done, guys? I'm sorry. When you have the original cube, you can toggle viewport display for the original cube and the other parts. So, for example, you can show the original cube first, and then quickly hide it from the viewport and the render, and that way it looks like the cube starts whole, and then it gets it breaks up. I should have done that, but that's all right. We'll do that in the next tutorial. Yeah, for sure. But the sorting machine, this is gonna be like, yeah, that was fun to make. So I'm gonna figure that out when I come back here, but that was just so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. We did a lot today, it feels like. But at this point, I am going to go ahead and say goodbye to Instagram first, and then I will say goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye, Instagram. Love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Message me if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Join the Discord. Consider joining me on Patreon and supporting me over there. And I will talk to you guys in the next live stream. Take it easy. All right, so, okay. All right, cool. So what do we got? Keyframing is easy, 50,000. Thanks a lot. Yeah, no problem, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. We've been getting some consistent viewers on YouTube, which is really great to see. So, and I do hope you guys are enjoying this content. Like I said, it's kind of like, this one was just like kind of off the bat. Like I just wanted to quickly do a live stream, cover a couple of tutorials. But I definitely think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of these future live streams. So, yeah, because we had a consistent 10 or 12 people in here at one point. So it sounds like you guys are really enjoying everything. And I appreciate you guys coming out to watch. So, for those of you who aren't on the Discord, do I need to send the link? Does everybody have the link to the Discord? Let me just drop it one more time for you guys. Invite people, copy link. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it in the Discord. Or in the YouTube. There you go. All right, so there's the link to the Discord. So go ahead and check that out. Guys, I really appreciate your time.